What is Nordic Lab? How is it different from other lab forms? And should you as an organizer advertise your event as a Nordic Lab? In this video, I'm going to give you my take and try to answer those questions. My name is Halfdan. I'm from Denmark and I've done live action role-playing most of my life. What is Lab? Let's start by catching everybody up. Lab is a form of role-playing game where the participants embody and portray their characters. Almost all of the time, that means walking around in a costume, doing cool shit with some props, and surrounded by an amazing location filled with scenography. It has some similarities to improv theater, but it usually has a lot more structure and it doesn't have an audience. Instead, the participants are doing this because they enjoy it. The majority of Lab happens in a series with a continuous story. The participants create a character. These campaigns have established rule systems, often including some form of character progression. So, what is Nordic Lab? Nordic Lab is a form of Lab that originated, as the name indicates, in the Nordics. It has since then developed a strong community around the Knutepunkt, KP, and Solmukohta, SK conferences. There are many different takes on Nordic Lab. Over the years, many people have discussed its definition, and everybody and their dog has an opinion on what Nordic Lab is. Despite a keynote stating Nordic Lab is dead, back when I first attended my first KP, there is a program item named Defining Nordic Lab on next week's SK program. The current definition displayed on nordiclab.org's website. Nordic Lab is a term for shared lab traditions in Norway, Sweden, Denmark and Finland. What sets the Nordic Lab traditions apart from the others is a strong emphasis on collaboration and collective creation, unobtrusive rules as well as a rich variety of play styles and settings, sometimes including heavy themes. This, I would say, is a little vague and therefore a quite good description of where Nordic Lab has landed. There are a few more elements trending very prominently in our community that could be included in this concept. But before we go into that, I'm going to unpack two themes from the definition. By collaboration, we mean that we are not playing against anyone. Rather, we are aiming for mutually fulfilling play. Collective creation is centered around the story and the emphasis that we as players share the responsibility for creating a good story and experience for everyone. On to my list. Most of the events that we think of as Nordic are standalone scenarios, where the participant attends a single experience, however long it is, with a specific setting and story. At these events, the participants will often receive pre-written characters and relationships, designed and written by the organizers. Once you are at the event, you don't just start right away. The organizers are likely to facilitate a set of workshops alongside some informative briefings. The workshops are characterized as participatory activities to prepare the players for the experience. These preparations usually last between 2 and 8 hours and are about getting familiar with your co-players, getting into character, practicing the mechanics, establishing relationships between characters, negotiating boundaries and/or the trajectory of the story. Nordic Lab events often feature a soft set of rules known as mechanics that let players navigate the experience. For example, a mechanic could be that when I'm wearing a certain type of mask, you and everyone else sees me as someone other than my character. The last point on my list is negotiation and calibration. Most players tend to negotiate and adjust their experience with each other before and during the lab, either on their own, in the workshops, or using meta techniques, mechanics which allow player-to-player communication without breaking character, determining where a lab can go and where it most definitely shouldn't. I'm not saying that these elements, such as workshops, are not featured elsewhere. I'm just saying that they are definitely prominent in the Nordic Lab space. We are not that special. If you are more interested in Nordic Lab, I suggest that you get your hands on this book, Lab Design, Creating Roleplay Experiences, or jump onto the nordiclab.org website. Before you do that, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell thingy. that would mean a lot to me. The reason I'm trying to do this YouTube thing is because I want to provide LARP producers with tools to create their own immersive LARPs. If that sparks your interest, you should also hang around for the last question right now. Should I put the Nordic label on my LARP? What Nordic LARP can do for you as an organizer is to attract certain people, namely the people who are part of the Nordic LARP community. They will all have individual expectation of what Nordic LARP is, and they will put those expectations onto your LARP. So, whether or not you decide to use the Nordic label, you should describe the playstyle of your LARP. But going into detail with that is a whole video in itself, and I'm not doing that now. If you want to see more content about organizing and producing immersive LARP events, then don't worry, this is just the beginning. Until you see me again, keep playing.